Hello, I'm Graham Fitch and I'm bringing you this session on questions and answers from Steinway Hall in the middle of London. And I've got 3 questions that readers have written in with. And we start off with a question from Tessa, who says, how do I keep my left hand loose in Beethoven's Sonata in E, Opus 14, number 1? And she's talking about the first movement from bar 65, which is the beginning, more or less the beginning of the development section. She says, after a few bars, my hand feels like it's going to drop off. Right, well, what we've got in the left hand here is a kind of series of spinning, broken chords. I'm not going to start with that because it would be too easy for me to just go straight to a technical difficulty without looking at the musical circumstance that we find ourselves in. Basically, we've got broken harmony in the left hand and a melody in octaves in the right hand. So I often find that when people fixate on a technical difficulty here, they miss the main thing, which often has nothing to do with that hand. What does the audience actually hear? We want to hear this tune in the right hand. So I would work on that specifically. What am I aiming for there? A little bit more pinky, a little bit less thumb, and I'm aiming for a legato, which I'm not doing too much with my fingers because I don't really want to show you 5s, 4s and 3s. I don't think it's a very smart idea to demonstrate with 3s, although the edition I have here, Claudio Arau's edition, does have 3s as well. You can use 4s on repeat on the black notes here, or you can use all 5s, it's fine. So just be aware that before you start fretting about what's going on down here, you need to know that your right hand sounds really good and feels really great, because that's what you want to be focusing on. So what we've got here is a series of spinning chords. Which go on for several bars. Now I happen to be in an extremely resonant place here, so I didn't actually use the pedal there. You might find that you do want little bits of pedal. It's too much in this room, so I'm not. What I sense when I play patterns of notes like this is that I'm not using my fingers exclusively, although I would start off with very light staccatos created from the tip of my finger. A very energetic tip. But you see what I've got also going on? I've got mobility in my wrist, my hand. It's known as a wrist circle, if you want to know the jargon for it. Up on the 5th finger, up. Do you see how that works? Up on the 5. Down from 1 to 5, thumb 5, thumb 5. So you might practice this. See what I'm doing there? Thumb 5, thumb 5. I'm going to show you a couple of other really good ways of practicing it, which involve first shifting the accents. So the main stress is going to be on the 5th finger, up. Remember, 5th finger, up, 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 accent, accent. Now, let me shift the accent 1 note over, 1 semiquaver, 1/16th note over, and artificially accent 1, 2, 3, 4. And really feel that I'm square on that accented finger. In other words, my arm is behind the finger that I play. Then, to the 2nd finger, 5, 4, 2, 1, 5, 4, 2, 1. And then to the thumb. Seems counterintuitive to accent the thumb, but I did notice when I did that, I really got a sense of the propulsion back down to the 5th finger. You can do all sorts of other things as well. If you like practicing in different rhythms, you can certainly do that. Try also doing the rhythms of one note in, as it were. And then. That's also a useful ploy. So just to recap, active fingertips, almost staccato, spinning arm, and that will keep you free. But when you play, listen for how the melody interacts with the bass line. You'll notice that the bass line ascends every 2 bars. Beethoven's moving up, then chromatic dominant preparation. Then he finds his way to C major, which is where he's been looking to get to. So try and always keep the musical result in mind when you're working on anything technical like that. Now Ray asks, I love Rachmaninoff's G minor prelude opus 23 number 5, but I cannot seem to manage the bit at bar 17, which is always, I love the way he puts this, it's always a total mess whenever I play it. Can you please give me some suggestions? Okay, first thing I would point out, this is the famous, that military prelude. Ray's talking about this spot on the beginning, at the top of the second page. Now let's just deconstruct it a little bit. First thing, it's only one forte, one F, not FF. Second thing, really important that when we're practicing anything that's going to be loud, most of the practice done soft. Why? Well, 2 reasons. One, it keeps you free, loose, physically free and loose. Second of all, it preserves your ear. Both those 2 things seriously important. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to recognize that I've got one accent at the beginning of the bar and then everything else can be light. Why? Because I'm using a Russian pedal, which is 1 bar in 1 pedal. That's all 1 pedal. Then I change my pedal here, change, and I get then a sense of ease and comfort as I go through the bar. I don't need to fight here. There I'd bring out a little bit of my bass. So top, bass. Now don't fight this. So when I get to the end of the bar, I'm not screaming, just really light. It's very important to work out a good fingering in that spot. Left hand can be legato, all of them, the ends of the bars here, and then the sad one. Now you may think, well hang on, surely I can't pedal the minor in the same pedal as the major. Yes you can. There's a rule. The presence of a bass note within a pedal forgives minor dissonances above. You can get away with that with no difficulty at all if you're pedaling by your ear and by your understanding. If you pedal by your eye, you'll see A natural, A flat, change of pedal, and you'll lose the resonance and you'll lose that fabulous bass. Last thing to say about this is use the propulsion upwards. So I feel when I'm playing this first chord that I'm lifting up, 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 light, up. And when I practice slowly, I'm moving quickly. Up, cover. Do you see how the release takes me? And then light, up. There's many other ideas I could share with you, but I'm running out of time and I need to move to my last example, my last question. From Debbie, who asks, I'm playing Valse Lent by Oscar Mericanto. The difficulty I am having is pedaling and maintaining the staccato notes at the same time. Please, can you offer any help? Yes, I think so. I think it's just a notational thing. Composers often write staccato dots when they don't mean a literal shortening, they mean a release of the key, and often the situation determines that it's trapped in the pedal. This is the waltz that Debbie means. But it's the second half here. He writes staccato, slur, staccato, slur. It's almost an accent, that staccato dot. It says get off the key, up. But because it's 1 harmony per bar, we trap the bass note in the pedal. And over the page, there's another example here. I'm taking that in one pedal. 2 bars in one pedal. Now, because I'm in such a resonant space, my pedal's only down 1/4 of an inch. But I think you can hear the staccato-ness of those notes through the pedal very clearly. They sound staccato. I hope that's answered your question, Debbie, and given you a few ideas. And I will look forward to seeing you again very soon.